A very good morning and a happy Monday. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Wealth. Hope you had a good and restful weekend. We'll talk about three things. On track for the best month since 1987, Black Friday sales, and the week ahead. US stocks rebounded after the holiday on Thursday, following a very brief breather on Wednesday. In a shortened trading day of Friday, it seemed optimism won out as investors hoped for a strong holiday season spending despite the pandemic and the look ahead of a potential availability of a vaccine candidate in spring. Technology and healthcare stocks buoyed all three indices on Friday. The Dow hit record highs on Tuesday. The broad S&P 500 and Nasdaq also reached new highs. The Dow added about 37 points on Friday. The S&P ended higher 0.2%, while the Nasdaq ended 0.9%. Treasuries advanced. The yields were down about 4 basis points. Oil retreated amid tensions among the OPEC Plus members, but eked out a fourth weekly gain. Gold plunged about 1.5% to 1787. Markets were largely buoyant over the handful of trading sessions last week, with the Dow crossing 30,000 mark for the first time on Tuesday, as rising virus infections across the US and economic data pointing to halting recovery that may curb consumer confidence. Investors appear to be looking ahead to next year, betting that COVID-19 vaccines will curb the pandemic and allow social and business activity to return to normal, along with a rebound in corporate earnings. Investors' zeal for stocks amid all of that has pushed the three major indices up more than 2% for the week, while gains for November have extended into double-digit percentages. The Dow has added nearly 13% since the end of October, on track to notch its biggest monthly advance since 1987. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite have also risen 11% and 12% respectively, their biggest month-to-date gains since April. In other markets, the Euro Stock 600 wavered between small gains and losses before closing up 0.4%. In Asia, most major benchmarks gained. The Shanghai Composite climbed about 1.1%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng was up about 0.3%. Profits at China's industrial firms in October rose over 28% from a year earlier, an acceleration from the 10% rise in the previous month, in yet another sign of the strength of the country's recovery. On Black Friday, online sales hit 9 billion, up 22% from last year, according to Adobe Analytics, which measures 80 out of the top 100 US e-commerce sites. The gain was near the low end of Adobe's forecast, which had projected growth of anywhere between 20 to 42% from last year. This was the second biggest online sales day after Cyber Monday 2019, when sales headed about 9.4 billion. This is also according to Adobe. The firm expects this Monday, which is today, to set a new record with online sales of at least 10.8 billion or growth of at least 15% from last year. Meanwhile, foot traffic to stores on Black Friday fell 48% this year from last year. This is according to Retail Next, which provides cameras, software and analytics to thousands of US stores and shopping centers. Sensormatic Solutions, another tracking firm with cameras in stores, said in-store traffic fell 52% on Black Friday compared with last year. Both companies said that their data showed spending outpaced foot traffic because shoppers purchased at the stores they did visit. Heading into the critical season, US consumer spending has been strong despite the economic shocks of COVID-19. The National Retail Federation, a trade group, has forecast that holiday sales will increase at least 3.6% to about 755 billion, including at least 20% growth from online shopping to about 2.2 billion. The week ahead, Jerome Powell and Steve Mnuchin face off over the winding down of Fed's emergency lending programs. Both men testified before lawmakers Tuesday and Wednesday after clashing over stimulus. The Fed Beach Book is due on Wednesday. RBI hosts its last 2020 meeting on Tuesday. It's all but certain to be quiet after significant easing in November. Governor Philip Lowe may have more to say on Wednesday when he briefs Parliament. Third quarter GDP figures is also due that day, and it's expected to show Australia's recovery from a recession has begun. In India, the RBI will probably hold rates on Friday. ECB boss Christine Lagarde speaks on Monday and Tuesday, offering her final chance to fine-tune her message ahead of next week's policy meeting. On the earnings side, we'll be keeping tab of Zoom Video, Salesforce, HPE, Dollar General and Bank of Canada. The big US print is November payrolls on Friday. Hiring probably slowed to 500,000 from 638 in October, while unemployment eased to about 6.8 to 6.9. This is according to consensus. ISM manufacturing is also due, along with ADP, unemployment, jobless claims and factory and durable goods are also things that we'll be looking out for. Lastly, in the US corporate credit markets, we may see about 15 billion in high-grade issuances and a flurry of new leveraged loan deals. That's the update. Stay safe and healthy. Have a lovely week ahead, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.